If you have a really good play, a strategy you really like, and you lost 1% of your account because you took that trade, you're not going to be annoyed by that, okay? Because it's something you understand. It's something you feel you've got edge, you've got a positive expectancy, a likelihood it's going to go in your direction. And you wouldn't be annoyed with that because you're applying some baseline approach to managing risk. Where traders get uncomfortable and emotional about risk is because, one, they haven't accepted either that the money is always at risk, but two, it's because they always typically over risking. Okay. Now, what happens typically when we over risk is it's not something we intend to do. It's something that happens as a direct result of what we call a compounding bad mistake. So that's the real key trick here. If you go into every trade, and it's almost like if you go into a trade and the first thing you do is you take a deep breath, you go, am I comfortable with losing $100 taking this breakout trade I've done 100 times? And you just did that. I know it's a very random sort of exercise, but if you just did that every single time, what you'll find is you'll never be emotional taking risk or willing to lose money because you're putting it on trades you understand. You're controlling the things you can control. So that's where emotion comes from. It comes from over-risking, and over-risking typically comes from poor risk management or just a lack of a risk management plan in general. We start off with great intentions. We plan to risk 1% of our account on the trade, and the next thing we've lost 2.5% on one trade. Now it's 3%, now it's 4%. That's when we become emotional. We're not emotional losing the 1%. Okay, we're emotional when it gets beyond our control, and at that point now we have to accept a larger loss than we would have accepted if we're just stuck to the game plan. Okay, and that's where emotions come from. Our emotions stem from the fact that trading is a very uncertain endeavor. There's no control over the outcomes. So by definition, we are all on edge. By definition, we're on edge. We cannot control it. Therefore, as a species, if we can't control something, we are psychologically going to be a little bit emotional and tense. So what we have to do as traders is we have to make sure that we accept the risk or we accept the loss even before we take it.